Canadiens. Just confirmed a trade rumor with the Oilers. Montreal Canadiens news. In the whispering winds of Alberta's endless prairies, where the ghosts of Gretzky's ghosted passes still carve invisible trails across the frozen north, can a single swap of sweaters, born from rumor's restless murmur, mend the fractures of a cup-starved saga? Or does it merely etch another chapter in the bittersweet ballad of brothers parted? October's golden hush had draped the NHL's early skirmishes in a veil of tentative triumphs. The 2025-26 season unfolding like a map redrawn in haste, with cap crunches and contender cravings dictating destiny's draft. In Montreal's storied sanctum, the Bell Centre stood as a bastion of budding promise. The Canadiens, under Kent Hughes' steady hand, weaving youth's wild threads into a tapestry of tomorrow. Their 4-2 start, a symphony of Hudson's elfin grace and Caulfield's lethal lyricism, yet shadowed by the quiet calculus of assets amassed for ascent. Across the continental divide, in Edmonton's Rogers Place, a coliseum etched with the scars of near misses and McDavid's mercurial magic, the Oilers grappled with the ghosts of a Game 7 collapse. Their 3-3 ledger, a flickering flame amid salary's stern siege. Jeff Jackson, the interim architect, paced the war room's dim glow. Eyes on the horizon, where Philip Broberg, the rangy Swedish rearguard, plucked 32nd in 19, loomed as cap casualty. His $1.1 million bridge, a bridge too far in a ledger bloated by Nurse's Nod and Hyman's Hall, trade whispers swelling like the North Saskatchewan in thaw. It was the eve of October 18th, a Friday forged in frenzy, when the rumor mill, fed by Friedman's midnight missives and Drager's dawn dispatches, ignited into confirmation. Hughes and Jackson, in a clandestine convergence of calls, consummated the pact. Broberg, that 6'3" sentinel of untapped poise for Logan Mailloux, the Habs' prodigal puck mover, 23, and raw with redemption's edge, bundled with a 2026 fourth-round whisper from Edmonton's vault. A swap not of stars, but sparks, trading Broberg's playoff pedigree for Mailloux's Montreal marrow. Please like, share, and subscribe for more Sport Talk content. As the announcement cascaded across TSN's ticker like a sudden squall, the Bell Centre's practice ice became a theater of tender transition. Mailloux, his frame taut with the weight of wayward youth, stepping onto the frost for the first time as habitant heir, his skates etching tentative arcs under St. Louis's watchful gaze. The locker room, that sacred cloister of camaraderie, fell into a hush profound as vespers. Suzuki clasping the newcomer's pads with a captain's quiet vow, "You're home now, kid. Carry the torch, not the tail." While Demidov nodded from the shadows, his own immigrant odyssey a silent sacrament of second chances. The turning point crested in that afternoon's huddle, as word rippled to the ice. Broberg, en route westbound, pausing at the airport's sterile limbo to text Mailloux a fragment of fraternity. "We were ships passing. Now we steer the same storm. Make 'em proud." In Edmonton, the arena's underbelly stirred with subdued stirrings. McDavid, the maestro of motion, pulling Broberg aside pre-flight, his voice a velvet blade. "This city's got ghosts that grip, Phil. Wear orange like armor, not anchor." The air hummed with it, the trade's alchemy turning rivals' reluctance into reluctant resolve. Crowd reactions, though nascent in the stands, bloomed in the digital dawn. Habs faithful at the morning markets along Peel Street, unfurling scarves in wary welcome. Their murmurs a mosaic of hope laced with the sting of Mailloux's marred memoir. Chants of Logan, tentative as first frost. In oil country's oil-slick taverns, Oilers devotees raised pints in pragmatic toasts, the exchange a salve for Cap's cruel calculus, yet laced with the ache of another Alberta exile. The emotional zenith unfolded that evening in a neutral zone tilt against Vancouver, the Bell Centre a crucible of 21,000 souls cloaked in blue, their pre-game ovation for Mailloux. A jumbotron montage of his Laval labors, swelling like the organ's solemn surge, tears tracing the furrows of fans who recalled the 93 dream deferred, now daring to dream anew in a defender's daring redemption. As the puck dropped, Mailloux's first shift surged with symbolism, his block on Bozer's blast igniting a roar that rattled the rafters, the faithful rising as one, banners of Beliveau and Bouchard blending in blurred benediction. Yet in the intermission's veiled vigil, reflections rippled on the road less traveled. Broberg's whispers of wanderlust, once linked to Long Island's lure, now anchored in Edmonton's unyielding orbit, his presence a bridge to the cup's elusive gleam, while Mailloux, once a specter of scrutiny, stepped from the penalty box's shadow into the spotlight's embrace. A trade not of triumph, but trial, silencing the sirens of what-ifs with the ink of inevitability. The aftermath unfurled like a prairie fire across the feeds, the deal detonating on X with Habs-Oilers swap surging to 4 million impressions by dusk, clips of Mailloux's maiden block looping in viral vigils, dissected with the devotion of diviners charting stars. RDS proclaimed it Le Retour du Fils Prodigue, a prodigal's return from Montreal's beleaguered blue line, while Sportsnet scrolls spun Broberg's bounty as Oilers' overdue oxygen, cap-freed for the chase. News cycles wove the web wider, ESPN's ether buzzing with cap casuistry, Friedman's forum peeling the prospectus on Mailloux's maturation amid Hudson's halo. Headlines like From Exile to Embrace, Habs bet on blue-chip redemption, piercing the veil of velocity in a season still supple. Fan reactions flooded like the Athabasca. Oilers elders etched emojis of wry relief. Phil's our puzzle piece now. While Habs youth hammered hashtags of hushed huzzah, Mailloux mends the myth. Deeper drifts delved into the historical haze. This barter echoed the '89 exchange of Richer for Lemieux's kin, swaps not as severances but sutures in the NHL's nomadic narrative. Montreal's penchant for prospect polish mirroring Gainey's gritty gambles, Edmonton's eye for experience a nod to Howson's haunted halls. The Canadiens, fresh from flipping Harris and Barron, now hoarded Hudson while harvesting Mailloux, a cultural cadence from sell-off sorrow to selective synergy. Cultural undercurrents deepen the dirge. In Quebec's querulous quarters, where hockey is hearth and heartbreak, Mailloux's mantle evoked the prodigal's parable. His American roots, no rift in the blue vein, pulsing province-wide. Edmonton's faithful, forged in '80s opulence and '24's near nirvana, framed Broberg as the bolter breaking the curse of cap-constricted crusades, rival realms from Toronto's towers to Vancouver's Vale offering olive branch observations. As the Canucks crumpled 4-3 in Caulfield's coda, a secondary swell crested in the corridors. Toasts to Hughes' prescience, his ledger now lush with leverage. Fans serenading the architect with Kent's the King, like a latter-day liturgy of lasting lore. In the mist-shrouded moments post-puck, shards of solidarity surfaced. Broberg to Draisaitl amid the exodus. Edmonton's endgame called me home. Your fire's my forge now. Now, in the ruminative reverie that robes such reckonings, what does this cross-continental covenant croon of hockey's hallowed hum? It murmurs of metamorphosis's mystic meld, where a trade's transaction transcends tally, forging futures from the forge of farewell, binding the broken to the boundless. Envision the empathy etched through every exchanged glance. Mailloux, the wayfarer weathered by wayward whispers, welcomed not with wariness, but warmth. A vignette of valor's voyage, where the acquired's ardor honors the acquirer's audacity, yet yearns for the league's lesson in lenity over ledger. And in the twinned trajectories, we trace legacy's labyrinthine loom. From Broberg's Swedish spires to Edmonton's electric expanse, Mailloux's Michigan meadows to Montreal's mythic Mont. This swap isn't severed sinew, it's the salve of serendipity, estrangement alchemized into alliance. It queries us. In our own crossroads of calling, do we barter for the blaze